Hey Vinyl community, it's Jason. It is Friday night. I'm gonna have a long weekend ahead of me studying, so I thought I'd do something fun before I head into the long weekend. I did notice one thing I am missing in my videos was a beer. So it seems like a lot of people drink beer, and which I drink a lot of beer, which is surprising. I took April off of drinking, so it's probably why I didn't have any beers in my videos. But so I'm gonna drink Pliny the Elder. I don't know how popular it is outside of California. I'm not sure, but it's kind of like it's kind of mythical here. I guess it's really hard to find. I don't know if it's a marketing ploy, or they say that they want you to drink it fresh, so they don't want to distribute too much of it. So it's kind of hard to get, actually. So I got my trusty bottle opener here, but so yeah, I'm not sure. Cheers, Pliny. It's good. So I'm not sure if it's a marketing ploy or not, but it works because I'm not a huge IPA person, but I buy it when I can just because it's hard to find. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna show some records. This is stuff I haven't done one of these yet, which is surprising, but stuff I've got recently. I actually got a lot more than I thought, so I'm going to show mostly stuff I got on the internet. Also, I just got back from New York, so I bought a couple records there. And then a couple other one-offs. I wanted to show one I got today. Actually, I'll start with that one. So I got a new honey hole. I got a lot from this place. I'll show more in the next video because I got a lot from there. But I want to show this because I got this today on my way home. I go there. I stop by every Friday. It's on my way home. So I went there today, and I was there for like an hour and a half. And they don't really get new stuff. It's like an estate sale place, so. I'll go every Friday, look at like one new box of stuff. The guy's got a huge storage unit with like 20,000 records, so he's slowly bringing them in. But I was really excited to get this. This is Etta James. Something's got a hold on me. I actually have this in my jukebox. I bought this online for like $15 for like a VG copy, and I found this for a couple bucks. This thing's like near mint. I couldn't believe it. So this one's definitely going in the jukebox. This is gonna replace my other copy. I love this song. So this is the original. I don't think they repressed this, so on Argo, really good. Of course, I gotta talk about a Brazilian record, but I bought this one online. This is Ailton Moreira, Natural Feelings. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with him. He seems like he's everywhere. He is like, I don't know. He's on like a lot of Miles Davis records. He just seems like one of like the go-to percussionist guys. I mean, he's very versatile. He plays cuica and you know, all the Brazilian instruments. So this is his first solo album. I'm gonna throw this one on. This is really good. Yeah, I was really excited to get this. This is a U.S. press, actually. This is on Buddha Records. But I was hoping to find it out somewhere, but I found some of his other records, but I've never found this one. This is definitely his best solo record. The one after here is really good as well. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's got that Brazilian feel to it. It's cool. It's got the cool like the backup vocals, and which I think why this is really good is because a lot of the songs are written by Hermeto Pascoal. And Hermeto Pascoal, I feel he's kind of like, he is like the Brazilian, I don't know if he is the Miles Davis of Brazilian jazz, I guess, but I don't even want to call him Miles Davis, he's just so versatile. He plays piano, he plays guitar, he probably plays percussion, he sings, he's just like, he is the man. He's on a lot of people's records as well. But he's like a musical genius. Hermeto Pascoal, he's so good. But and they were in a band together. I think they had a couple records together before. But this is Ailton's first solo album, so I'm really happy to get this. This is an eBay purchase. I don't know. I feel like on eBay lately I've been kind of like, it's always me and someone else, and if I don't bid, then someone else gets it for super cheap. So I had to bid it. I got this for a pretty good price. I mean, less than it goes on Discogs, and this thing's like near mint. So, yeah, really excited to get this one. Next one, this is another 45. This is Grill as Clint Eastwood. So this one, yeah, this is just a I don't know if it's a white label promo or what, but this has been on my list for a while. I don't have too many on my list anymore for the jukebox. It's pretty full. I got maybe space for like 10 to replace, but I was really excited. This one came on for a reasonable price. This one's been up there. A lot of people selling stuff are pretty expensive, so I just kind of waited, and one came on and bought it right away. So happy to get this. Is definitely going on the jukebox. So these are from my New York trip. So in New York, I took advantage. My wife, she wanted to take a nap the first day we got there. We got there Thursday night, and so it was kind of early. It was like 9:30, and so I just was frantically looking up record stores. There wasn't too many that were open that early, which makes sense. I mean, record stores open a little bit later, but I was really hoping to find some just really epic records in New York. I mean, it's a big city, so I was trying to hopefully get some, some Blue Note or some Strata East or something just crazy. Unfortunately, didn't have too much luck, but I did go to one store called the Jazz Collector because it opened at 10, and I think I was the first one in there. I don't know, I wasn't too impressed. It was all jazz, but it was a lot of older jazz, like 50s, and it wasn't like a lot of Louis Armstrong. Nothing wrong with that, but it just really wasn't what I'm looking for. And then the good Blue Note stuff they had was all reissues, so they didn't really have anything that was, I wanted to come away with some. I want to spend, a lot of money on one record just so I can say I got this in New York. But so I was a little disappointed. I probably stayed there longer than I should have. I didn't buy anything there. It was kind of a far walk. Anyways, like a half-hour walk from my hotel. I didn't want to be taking Ubers around the city because, what's the point in terms of my, $50 record into a $100 record because of all the public transportation I was taking. But I did go another one after called Good Records, which was a solid little store. I mean, they had it was pretty small. They didn't have a huge selection. I want to say there was maybe 500 records in there. And there was nothing like super epic, but they had a pretty good selection. So I did buy 3 records from there. So I'm going to show this. But yeah, definitely recommend it. Good records. Yeah, they had nothing like super. They had one record. I guess it was like Spike Jonze's parents or something, but I didn't know what it was. But the prices were good. I mean, they were pretty reasonable to what on Discogs, maybe like the lower end of Discogs. So, I mean, I don't mind paying for records, especially if they're reasonably priced. But so I grabbed a couple. This is Wild Tchoupitoulas. I've wanted this record for a while. I was probably one of the first ones I was bidding on when I started collecting. I'm buying online like 3 years ago. I was trying to get it for like under, around like $20. It just always sold for a little bit more than I wanted to. This is when I was getting into Alan Toussaint and the Meters. Alan Toussaint produced this, and the Meters wrote a lot of the songs and played the instruments. And so this is cool. This is like it's that New Orleans funk, but it's definitely a little bit more leaning a little more Dixie. I feel the Dixie sound from New Orleans, but so this is cool. I mean, I didn't pay that. I got it for a reasonable price, and this is on Island Records. So Alan Toussaint produced. Can't go wrong. Got it for a pretty good price. So that was the first one I got. These are all pretty clean. The next one I got. This is Melvin Van Peebles, Watermelon Man. Melvin Van Peebles, I became familiar with him with Madlib. I watched some video of him in France, just like digging through some store, and then they would play the records that he picked out, and he played, I forget what it's called, Sweet Badass Movie or something. So I actually found that one a few years ago for like $1, and I really liked it. And so I've listened to this record before online. So it's nothing like I was seeking, but I wanted to walk away with a couple records, and I put it on, listened to it, and it was really good. I mean, I've heard it before, but so yeah, I went with it. It's kind of like it's a soundtrack. So it's got some. I think he was kind of one of the innovators of kind of doing that kind of music. Like I'm gonna call it poetry, but he was like kind of. I don't say he wasn't rapping, but he's kind of talking and over to like soul music, and yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, he had very provocative movies when in the early '70s. I've never seen the movie. I've never seen any of his movies. I'd like to check them out. But yeah, this one's really good, and this one is on Beverly Hills label. I don't know. I've never seen this label before, but I'm so happy to get that one. That was a nice one to add to the collection. So what else I got? So this is the last one I got. This is Jan Johansen. I guess it's 300. So I actually learned this from local bandographies from his Sublime Media entry. So this is Swedish jazz. This is really good. I listened to it. It had me sold after like the third song. I think it had a flute. I'm kind of a sucker for flute. I don't know what it is, but so it was kind of like a bluesy flute song, and they have a lot of like slow intro percussion stuff on here. And I think this one came out in '72, and I know he died, and I think he died in '68. So yeah, it seems like a live album. I don't know if it's the same live performance or if it's multiple tracks. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I was really happy to get this one. This is cool. It's on what is it? I don't even know what label this is. Megaphone. So yeah, so happy to get that. It's a nice one. So those are the 3 records I got from New York City. Unfortunately, didn't get to go to any other stores. I was hoping to find some stuff along the way, but I mean, we were kind of saw a couple Banksies, and we're kind of busy with some other stuff, so I didn't get a chance. But yeah, I'm gonna take another drink here. So these next few, or most of these, are online purchases. I got this is a record store purchase. This is Serge Gainsbourg. This is I guess it's soundtrack, original music from La Pasha. So this is the only record I wanted from Record Store Day. I don't know what it is with Record Store Day, but I don't know, maybe I'm out of the times. I don't know a lot of the music that's on there, and I do, and a lot of it's just kind of stuff that they repress that I feel is not really hard to find anyway. Like, you could find the original for like $5, $10, and they're repressing them for, I don't even know. I've never actually went to a Record Store Day, so I think they're expensive. But usually there's like 1 or 2 records that I want, and so I kind of wanted this one, but I called a couple record stores, and there's one that they had it. They didn't tell me how many they had. They just said they had every single release. But my wife had to be at work at 7, so I had to be home at 6:30 in the morning, and they opened at 5, and it was like a half-hour drive, so I decided not to go. And I went to another record store later, and they didn't have it, or they didn't even know if they had it, but so I actually found it online for I think $30, which I think was a good price. I saw this on the wall at the record store in New York, and they had it for $35, so I'm guessing I got a good deal. But this is good. This is Serge Gainsbourg, and it's like super funky. I was familiar with the one song Requiem pour un con. So yeah, I'm really happy to get this. I've listened to this a few times. It's weird. They got on the B-side. There's some songs from a different movie, I guess, and they're more kind of like soul music. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting soundtrack. But yeah, I'm really happy to get this one. This next one. This is Ramsey Lewis Trio, Another Voyage. I don't know. Is Ramsey Lewis? I have a soft spot for Ramsey Lewis. For me, he's really hit and miss. Most of his stuff I'm not really into, but he's got a few records that I really like. Especially this trio. Who's on this? It's Ramsey Lewis, and I think it's I want to say what's his name? Cleveland. Who's on this? God, I can't even. Oh, here's Cleveland Eaton plays bass, and his bass is pretty distinct. I mean, I feel like it kind of pops. And then the drummer, Mason, I think is his name, Mason something, Mason Jennings. No, Mason Jennings. Shoot, I can't remember it's not on here. But the drummer, he goes off too. So yeah, these three, they have a few records of his I like. Funky Serenity, really like. So yeah, I heard this one recently, and I bought this. I'm I'm really happy with this one. This one's great. I like Ramsey Lewis, but he does a lot of cover songs, like pop cover songs, and I'm not a huge fan of, you know, an album full of pop cover songs. But there's a couple originals. I think once he got with Cleveland Eaton writes some songs on here too. So maybe he just had someone else to write some songs to fill the. There's still a couple covers on here. But yeah, I really like that one. This is another one I got. I kind of take a chance on this one. This is another eBay purchase. This is Romano Mussolini and Tony Scott. And this is a live album. I think it's a private press because they actually was signed. So Tony Scott signed that side and Romano Mussolini signed that side. It was kind of cool to get, you know, Mussolini's son to signature. But I really like Tony Scott. I heard one song off this and it was like a live version. I mean, this is a live album. So I didn't know too much of the music, but I really like Tony Scott. He's got a couple albums I really, really want. That I haven't been able to find. Unfortunately, he kind of, it's kind of a cool little private press thing. So I think you had to get these at the show, and so basically, I think most of them are signed. Yeah, I took a chance with it. I didn't really know, but it's pretty good. I mean, there's couple songs are kind of bluesy, and then there's I think the last song is When the Saints Go Marching In, and it's a really funky version of When the Saints Go Marching In. It's probably the best version I've ever heard of When the Saints Go Marching In. So there is also this is a live album, and they have I don't know if they did this one first or they have another one, a studio album as well. I kind of want to check the studio album out, but so you can either buy these separately. There's a live, the studio, and then I think they had like a double where they had them together. I was hoping to get the double, but I saw this. It was a reasonable price. I think I was the only person to bid, so I took a chance. I think the shipping was just as much as the record. So here's another record. This is a record I bought. This just came out. This is Crumb, and I guess it's called a double EP. I bought the. I have it here. So I learned these guys. So I bought they have an EP at 33. So I learned about these guys. There's this like record club I've kind of followed. I learned from this Brazilian band that they released an album on. It's called Turntable Kitchen, and so they released. They'll do once a month where you order and you get like a thing of coffee, or you'll get some ingredient and they'll send you records. Turntable Kitchen. So I really like that EP. I bought that one. I don't buy very often, maybe once a year, because most of the music is just not really my style. And that was their first release. And then they came out with another EP only on cassette, which I forget is the name of that one. I think the other one's called Lock It. So here's the one side. That's the second EP that was on the cassette, and here's the one I got. So it's just one EP on each side. I think one's 3 songs, one's 4 songs. I was actually going to see these guys, and I already had tickets to see Crumb and in LA, and they played the same night, so I couldn't go. And I heard that they were putting out this kind of double EP, and once I found out like 10 days after they put it out, and it sold out in like a week, so I missed it. So they're only selling them at the shows, and I think I'm probably the highest dollar amount on Discogs, because as soon as it came out, I just bought it. Probably paid double what it's going for at the shows, but I figured I'm never going to get it. I really wanted to get it. I don't know. You never know with records. Sometimes the price will just get jacked up. So I probably overpaid, but this is really good. This is it's kind of it kind of has like that like early 2000s, late 90s sound. It's like very loose, but it's almost like emo, indie. Her voice, it's kind of like mixed between like Get Up Kids and Beach House. I feel like her voice is like really loose, not loose, but like very relaxed. And it's cool. They're very loose. I feel like that, they switch up kind of beats pretty easily, and they got one song with like some sax in it, and so I really like this. I've been listening to this a lot, but this is really good. Crumb, check them out. I mean, they're pretty small. I think they're from Texas. I don't know where they're from, but yeah, they're really small. I think they're just touring now. But yeah, Crumb, pretty good. Next couple of stuff I've been kind of like, I used to like when I was in college or whatever, and I'm just kind of catching up. I got most of my records from, garage sales and stuff, so I got a lot of 60s, 70s, a little bit of 80s, but I've been buying, and I have a lot of indie stuff, new stuff I buy, but, so I've been buying stuff that I used to like in college, and, you know, from a few years ago. So this is G Love and the Special Sauce. This is his first album. He actually played here a couple months ago in a small little venue. I could have went, and I wanted to go. If I had this record, I probably would have went because I could have got it signed. But I was waiting to get a first press, and they were like going for stupid money for some reason. But this one, this came out, and or this was like a reasonable price. So this is, I don't know what this is on. I guess it's on Epic. This is really good. I love G Love and the Special Sauce. It's a trio, and they're very loose. The stand-up bass player, G Love plays kind of blues and harmonica, and then the drummers are really dope. So this is their first album. Yeah, if you don't know G Love, I definitely think this is the best album. And then he got a little bit more popular once he started playing with Jack Johnson and stuff. And I think now he's on Jack Johnson's label, but yeah, I really like this album, G Love. If you like that kind of like, he kind of like almost raps. It's like rap blues, but it's like got the stand-up bass, kind of like got the jazz feel. It's really good. I really like this album. This next one, this is Blonde Redhead. This is another one that I liked when I was in college. Melody of Certain Damaged Lemons. Blonde Redheads, they're also a trio. I think they're a trio, yeah. They had two twin Italians, I think, the drummer and the guitarist, and then the lead singer is a girl, and I think she's half Japanese, maybe half Italian, I don't know. But she can sing in Japanese, she can sing in English, and I think she can sing in Italian as well. But these guys are really good. They're I guess you'd call them emo. Their music's all over the place. I mean, there's one song on here, I think it's called For the Damaged, I think that's the name. It's like really slow piano, and it's like one of those songs, if you're in the right moment, listening in your car or something, thinking about something, like I've teared up before. It's really good. But then they got some stuff that's really like abrasive, like the guy just goes off on the guitar. So the girl sings most of the time, but the guy sings as well for some of the songs. But this is my favorite album by them. They got a bunch of stuff. They were kind of like underground back in the day. I think they might be a little more popular now. I'm not sure. I mean, this was back, I think this is from 98 or early 2000s. 2000, I think. So yeah. So I was really happy to get this one. Found on eBay for like $10, so I couldn't pass it up. This is another one. This Feist Metals. This came out, I think this is 2011. This is when me and my wife, 2011, we were going, this is obviously before we had kids, or a kid. We were going to a lot of festivals. We were going to Coachella still at that time, and I think we were going to that festival in San Francisco. And I was just kind of, I guess, current on the music. And this is one of the albums that really, when it came out, I was just blown away. I think she's Canadian, singer-songwriter. Her music is beautiful. I mean, this album, this is definitely her opus, I feel. I think she just came out with an album recently, but it's so good. The songwriting on here is so amazing. It's very, very, very mellow, very chill. But yeah, this definitely blew me away when it came out. So it's always been on my list, but it's just not something I'm totally, trying to get these other kind of crazy things. Stuff you just learned and new music you want to go get. So it's hard to circle back and get stuff that you know. I mean, I listen to it. Listen all the time, but so I've been listening to this one a lot lately. I got this one for like $10. It's only bitter, sealed. I couldn't pass it up. I mean, this isn't very expensive, but I'm super happy to get this. And then this is the last one. So all those were internet purchases, and I was watching Eat Sleep Vinyl's entry to Sublime's contest, and he had like such an epic story. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it, and I just kind of we commented a little back and forth about finding records in the wild. It's a better story, it's funner to tell, it's funner. I can remember all those records I bought. The internet stuff, there's not really much of a story when you think about it, I mean, I don't say it has no soul, but it doesn't have that memory. I'm glad to get it, and I buy stuff that like newer stuff that I really won't ever find in the wild, and I don't really go to record stores that often, especially in Orange County. There's really not a lot of good record stores. So this last one I wanted to show. This is one I bought in the wild. Actually, I got this one for $1, sort of. I've wanted this record for a long time. Bobby Humphrey's Black and Blues. So I bought a collection of records, and the records were like so beat. There was I'll show another record last time. There was actually a Cleveland Eaton record in there. There was Black Jazz that I wanted. And it was actually probably one of the only ones in like decent condition. But it had like Al Green, Marvin Gaye, like all this great soul music, and it was just so trash, so beat up. So the guy wanted not a lot, but he wanted way too much for that. So I paid like half of what he wanted, hoping to get. That Cleveland Eaton was probably worth it by itself. I mean, it was not a cheap record, but just hoping to get clean some stuff up, in the cleaner, and maybe get some listenable stuff. And so they had this record in there, and I cleaned it like 3 times, and it was just so beat up. It just played terribly. But I kept it anyway. I still have a couple of the ones, maybe I'll clean it again. I don't know what it was. But I went to the sale. This guy sells records out of his garage like every couple months. And he has dollar boxes, and he had this record for $1, and he had it for $1 and it was sealed, but it had mold in it. So, but I was stoked because I still had the cover. This cover's, it's still it's a little bit trashed, but it's not that bad, but it's definitely got some wear. But so the other cover had mold, but the record was mint because it was sealed. So I brought it home, I cleaned it up, and it sounds perfect. So yeah, I was really, really stoked to get this. So I just basically Frankensteined them together, and so now, and this record, you guys, I'm sure this is a classic. I've listened to this quite a few times after I got it. Really excited to get it. So so that's the last one. So yeah, I just want to show a couple records before the weekend, and yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.